Welcome back to the channel. This is Nick with Manitoba RC Adventures. Today we're going to be doing my first LowCg Axial Scx24 build. I chose the first generation Jeep JLU. I think this is a great candidate. We changed the stock frame rails to Power Hobby carbon fiber frame rails. We also changed the ESC and motor to brushless, and we also had to upgrade the receiver to a Spectrum 315. So if you want to see that amongst other mods, stay tuned to the video. Let's get into it. Alright, let's see what we got into here. I picked up the Injora silicone inserts. These will fit inside of these Injora tires. They are 63mm, and we're going to be using these Treal wheels. These are also Injora tires, but they're 58mm. Want to go with something a little bit bigger than that. I picked up this from Eliminator RC. It was on sale. It was like $67 Canadian, so great price. It was like half off. Censored brushless ESC and motor for 1/24 micro crawlers. I also picked up this Power Hobby carbon fiber frame rail set from Eliminator as well. And for the axles, I have some Injora brass. There's 2 brass diff covers, brass knuckles, and wheel wideners as well. And these are an Injora link set, high clearance link set. Wow, super sticky tires nowadays. The Injora compounds so good compared to what they used to offer. Alright, these inserts, let's see what these are all about. Super soft. These should really comply with the tires, let them squish really nicely. Oh yeah, that should fit perfect. Okay, I'm gonna clear up the bench a little bit, get some wrenching space going here. Alrighty, I got 3 of the 4 tires mounted up already. These are the 63mm Injora tires. These are the Treal wheels. They seem to work really good. I already got the inner ring inside this one. I also have the tires vented on the inner sidewall. Just for these silicone inserts, they seem to breathe better venting the inner sidewall instead of on the tread, traditional style if you were using foams still. But since I'm not using the foams, we do the inner sidewall. 12-6, just 2 holes, seems to be fine even on the 10 scale tires. Okay, grab some of your micro screws, start a couple. Make sure those beads aren't slipping out. It's all 6 tightened up. Make sure, go all the way around. Okay, seems to be good. That's all 4. These were the tires we took off. 58mm size compared to the 63. I'm pretty sure the stock tires on the SCX24s are about 53. that's going to be quite the upgrade in size once we get those put on. It's going to look pretty gnarly. Alright, I think we might start ripping apart, getting the axles and the transmission and the skid plate and everything out of here. I guess might as well just start giving her. Stock axle is out. I threw some weights on top of the Emax servo. I don't have any brass on here. These look like brass, but I'm pretty sure these are aluminum. Although, with those cuts, it certainly does look like brass. Brass servo mount, Samex, I believe. I think that's all the upgrades I put in here, and the V2 ESC from the Gladiator I tossed in here since I upgraded the ESC and the Gladiator a long time ago, a couple years ago. Alright, let's get this rear axle out of there. There's the rear axle. Now we're going to need that transmission, skid plate, and motor out of there. Just another 4 screws. Okay, now you can just pull the chassis apart, spread it open. The motor, unplug that. Whoops. And there we go. Chassis is completely stripped down, besides the shock towers and the battery tray and the ESC tray. Guess we'll take this out of here. I don't think I'll be reusing this stock chassis for anything. Whoa. That is some good double-sided tape. Maybe I'll just leave that there for now. Okay. We'll scale 24 scale Mobile One oil jug. Cute little thing. Planning on putting that back here somewhere. A little off topic, but anyways, I guess we're gonna need to open this next. Get this Power Hobby chassis opened and assemble this chassis, get these axles and everything put on here. Hopefully this stock skid plate works for this. I don't think this comes with a skid plate. Didn't open it yet, so we don't know. Alright. See what we get inside this package. Axles, transmission, motor. Okay, so clearly we get the frame rails, left and right. sticker sheet. Sweet. Okay, so these look like probably just cross members. Go in between the frame rails, stiffen up the chassis. Couple brass spacers. Here looks like some more cross members and a battery slash ESC tray. Some double-sided Velcro there, or Velcro. Yeah, strip of Velcro. This would be for the battery. Loops onto here, so I guess this would be a battery tray. Two other platforms for mounting ESC, I guess. I'm pretty sure those slot into the frame rails like this. Yep. And there's 1, 2, 3, where underneath my thumb, 4 slots you could put the, so they give you an option. Put those anywhere you want. See if these bolt patterns line up here. They do, but I think the motor's in the way. Might need to unbolt the transmission to get that skid plate in there. Totally new to the LowCg micro. Have not done a ton of research or even picked up on what guys are using for skid plates. I'm not sure if they use the stock skid plate or not for these builds. Okay. Skid plate itself, does it fit? Sorta, kinda. Alright, so all I had to do with the skid plate was file down these 2 nubs on each side. And then it fits perfectly into the frame rails. There we go. Perfect. We will get those bolts in. Bolt the skid plate in first. Get that held into position. Alright, there's the skid plate on the chassis. Now we will drop in the transmission. Actually, before we drop that in, I do want to take this apart and take that motor out. Alright, there's the two motor bolts, 2 bolts for the case. We shall open the new motor in ESC. Take a peek. There's the new pinion. There's the brushless ESC and the brushless motor. And it already has a pre-installed pinion on it. Okay. Not too much bigger than the stock motor. Oop. This is also sensored, so that's your sensor plug that will connect to the motor back here when we have everything all together. Well, I'll show you when we get to that point anyways. Okay, so not sure if we're getting close enough to get a mesh. You might need to run the other pinion that came in the bag. Right there. Nope. Okay. I think we might be able to get it to line up the pinion that it's already on. Sneak this screw behind the gear. Okay, maybe that one needs to go in first. There we go. Looks like it will work with the pinion that's already pre-installed. Yep, that should do the trick. Alright, see if this transmission will drop in though. We are hitting the frame rail. Motor is definitely on there. Now the decision to trim that or just bolt it up and let it touch Should be fine since it's not an outrunner, and our censored plug is still on this side, not towards the outside, so that should work. Just gotta keep these wires away from that. Okay, I'm gonna bolt up the transmission. Let's see, these two were for the bumper. These were the three that did the transmission to skid plate. All same length, yep. One from above. Looks good so far. Okay. Now I'm gonna need to start making the links, I believe. I'll get this gear cover put back on. Make sure everything moves freely still. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm gonna assemble the links off camera because nobody wants to watch me build links forever. I'll get the links made and then we will start replacing these stock plastic links on the axles, and I'll get back to you when I have these done. Alright, I already got the brass knuckles. Whoops. I already got the brass knuckles installed. There is two bearings you need to pull out of the old ones. There's one inner, one outer. And then the diff cover as well. You don't want to miss that one. There's a bearing inside the diff cover that you're going to want to pull out and install into the new cover. Or, if you just leave those ones in, the plastic ones, there is new ones inside the bag that Injora provides, but I figured I'll just reuse the stock ones. So now we're going to get the servo and the brass diff cover back on. Alright, there we go. Now we just need to reattach the steering arms onto the steering knuckles. Got those two bolts right here. And I guess I will add a little bit of Loctite. Usually keep some just on one of the bags during a build. Need a dab, there you go. Down to Loctite. Alright, there is the axle all brassed up. Brass diff cover, brass knuckles, brass servo mount, a couple weights added onto that servo. The links are adding a bit of weight compared to the stock plastic ones. We got a good amount of weight going up front on this build, and the back is just going to have wheel wideners for brass. I'm not going to put the brass diff cover on this one. I mentioned earlier this second brass diff cover will go to the Gladiator over here. I don't have one on here yet. And I already have the brass knuckles, steering links, high clearance links from Injora. So brass diff cover, spread the love of that. Okay, I think we are ready to start bolting in the axles into the chassis. Start with the front because the rear is usually easier to finish. There's less moving parts, less to deal with. Line up the drive shafts so they're in phase. And we'll need to do the upper links first. Yep. We'll wriggle that drive shaft after the links in. And then lead. This one's harder for the links. That's all that's left. There's no rubber. There's more there for the rear links. Just get the upper. There's the upper links bolted in. Now I think we can start in place. Yep, there we go. Good. Now the lower links into the seat plate. Okay. Don't want to let that axle sag out too far because then the drive shaft will pop out. This is where we might need, or I think we will need, a spacer. Okay, I'm just going to leave that like that for now. And I will need to add a nut on the back side of the frame, on the inside of the frame, to secure the shocks. Because these are just threading through the holes on the carbon fiber frame. And they can definitely pop out if you don't add a nut to the inside, but for now they'll hold just for mock-up purposes. I think Just the servo cable's getting in the way a little bit there. Run that to the inside now. Okay, we have a moving functional front axle in there. Sweet. Okay, I'm gonna try and tie this up out of the way for a second. Just leave it like that. Onto the rear. Flip this guy over. We'll do the same thing. We'll start with the upper links to the chassis first. Definitely need better shocks. Gonna go to the, I think it's Pro line that made shocks similar size to the stock ones. Just for length. Don't want to run an extra long shock. Want this rig to be very planted on the rocks. Don't want all that extra body roll. I'll grab 2 spacers for the shocks. Hardware for the links. Okay, flip this guy over. We'll worry about the drive shaft after we get these upper links in first. Go. Okay, and shocks. With the little spacers over here. And there we go. Rear axle is in now as well. There goes the front, freely moving. There goes the rear. Awesome, we're almost done here. Now, we still have wheel wideners. Electronics and stuff I can probably worry about till after. Not sure if I'll get around to doing that all in this video. This is going to be a long one. Okay. And the body, I believe, will work. We're probably gonna have to do some trimming, like get rid of these fenders. Definitely gonna have to do some trimming. It's going from the stock tires to these huge Injora tires requires some trimming for sure, 100%. See how far these wheel wideners take us. Okay, now let's try out the tires. Okay. There goes one of the wideners. Oh, there goes the second. Okay, we're just gonna do one at a time here. Try not to get confused with the directional tires. Okay. Lots of good low down weight. The tires are really, or the wheels are really heavy, the Treal wheels. The wheel wideners on each corner, big brass, pretty chunky. The knuckles and the dip cover that we added. I already had the steering link and servo mount brass as well. The more I look at that steering link, I think it is brass. Thought I ordered an aluminum one, but to the trim of it, definitely looks brass. Wow. What a stance. Good articulation, better than stock. Okay, get this body on and see how it looks. I know this is a long one, and I tried to speed it up as much as I possibly could. And if you're still watching, you're an absolute legend. I truly appreciate it. Thank you. Look at that mean machine. The way I have the body mounted is just Velcro. So if I do want to raise this, I could just put another piece of plastic or something and then the Velcro on top of that mount. But I'm digging it. Let's see, a little articulation ramp here. Okay. Oops. Okay. Definitely more flex than stock. That's about all the flex I kind of want on something like this. Excuse me. Well, let's see the Gladiator. This is on this step here. Oh yeah, Gladiator flexes just about as much. This is stock chassis, stock shocks. Alright, well, I'm happy with the conversion. If you guys are still here watching this conversion, drop a like, comment on what type of build have you guys done with your SCX24. Is it still on stock frame rails? Have you went to the carbon fiber? Did you convert yours to a Injora style cage build like a mini Capra? Comment below. Let me know what kind of builds you guys have done. Subscribe if you aren't already. And I'll see you guys on the next one.